Hello again, wrestling fans. I'm Scott Casper. Welcome to this edition of Takedown, your weekly source for what's trending in the world of wrestling. Well, you may have noticed a lot of Iowa coverage over the past few weeks, but there's a reason for that. Over the last month, the Iowa Hawkeyes have met with 3 of the top 5 teams in the country, and on Sunday, more of the same, as number 6 Nebraska came to call for their regular season finale. Top-ranked Thomas Gilman scored the only 3 takedowns of the match at 125, securing a career-high 23rd consecutive victory with a 6-3 decision over the 5th-ranked Tim Lambert. In a 4 versus 5 matchup at 133, Eric Montoya scored a late third-period reversal and 4 near-fall points for a 9-6 upset over Corey Clark, but an unsportsmanlike conduct call on Montoya would cost the Huskers a point, heading into a major swing match at 41. That's where Topher Carton picked up his first top 10 victory of his career, a 6-4 victory over Colton McChrystal. We go to 149. 4th-ranked Brandon Sorensen put the Hawkeyes up 10 with a 13-5 major against Colin Puritan. And Michael Kemmerer, well, he made it 3 straight for the home team, using a first-period takedown to top Tyler Berger in a Midlands Finals rematch, 3-2. Joey Gunther kept Iowa in the driver's seat with a 4-1 decision at 165, and Alex Meyer put the Hawkeyes up by 19 with a 17-1 tech over Eric Engler. The blowout continued at 84. Sammy Brooks scored his 20th victory of the year, pinning Wakan Sowell 5.5 minutes into the bout to put Iowa up by 25. 6th-ranked Aaron Studebaker gave the Huskers their second victory with a 12-2 major over Cash Wilkie, and Colin Jensen edged Stephen Holloway at heavyweight, but the final score not even close. Hawkeyes win big, 32-7.
Clark's match, first time he's wrestled in a little while.
Clark did a lot of good things to get himself in position to win that match. I don't panic when Clark goes down by a takedown. I know what we're capable of doing, and Clark doesn't panic either. But sometimes when you're throwing in slow, I call it slow playing or slow wrestling, a position where you're throwing that side headlock, we got to be a lot smarter there. And we gave the guy 6 points. And we got to be smarter there. And it happened at Michigan, happened at Oklahoma State, and it happened against Nebraska. 3 quality opponents, 3 different times where we got ourselves in trouble with the side headlock. We got to be smart. Corey Clark can ride. He can do a lot of things on top. It's one of his best positions. There's only 3 of them. And you can't ride him. He's tough on his feet, and he's tough on top. And we don't need to be going into unfamiliar territory, even though, the territory is familiar to him. But we're talking about, wrestling these opponents they're going to make you pay. They're going to make you pay. Montoya, he made us pay. And you know what? Our team had to bail. We had to bail ourselves out after that. I mean, they were pretty riled up over on that bench, and I don't notice much. I let my brother take care of that, noticing the other bench, but I did notice that they were riled up over there after that match. That was a big rallying point for them. And then Topher Carton, and then Sorensen, and then Kemmerer, and then Gunther, and then Meyer, and then Brooks. Here's the thing. I mean, I could say it's no big deal. We just stay focused, and we, just stay on our routine and whatnot, but it's that time of year where we got to ratchet it up. One of the messages that we give them is sometimes we have letdowns this time of year. We got beat by North Carolina State last year, and we got beat by Missouri the year before in the national duels, and that's because of a letdown. And there can be no letdown. This Nebraska team came in and we didn't let down as a team. Still got work to do at 97 in particular. Holloway, you know what? The Olympic and world champ couldn't come off the bottom of that guy the other night. And Stephen Holloway got an escape. And we'll start right there. Take anything we can get. We'll find those little positives. Thank you.
Our regular season recap continues after the short timeout. Thanks to our friends at Casey's General Stores. Casey's, famous for pizza.
Right now, get a free 2-liter with the purchase of any large pizza. Casey's, famous for pizza.
Yellow Blue wants to show you global energy demands are expanding at an alarming rate. Power grids in the U.S. are aging while coal plants continue to close at record rates. Utility rates are at an all-time high and there's no end in sight. If this concerns you, call Yellow Blue, delivering products and services that are not only green, but cost-effective. You can be independent, safe, and secure. We'll show you how at yellowbluetech.com.
All right, welcome back. Oklahoma State started the year ranked #1, and that's where they'll finish after a one-sided win over Oklahoma in the final duel of the regular season. Tied at 2 with 1 period remaining at 1:25, Nick Piccaninny scored 7 straight with an escape, a takedown, a near fall, and he went up 9-2. Moody scored a takedown of his own to prevent the major, but the Cowboys took the bout 10-5. Cade Brock ran out to a big early lead at 33, hitting 2 takedowns and a near fall in the opening frame against OU's Jacob Rubio. The Cowboy freshman scored 4 more takedowns and clinched his first tech of the year with riding time. The score 18-3. Defending national champ Dean Heil ran his winning streak to 32 consecutive with a third period escape and a takedown to top the Sooners' Mikey Longo 5-3. We go to 149. Anthony Collica picked up his 17th victory of the year on senior day, securing 5 takedowns and a 12-3 decision over OU's Davion Jeffries. Sophomore Joe Smith piled on the points at 157. He scored 8 in the final period on his way to a 17-1 tech over the Sooners' Jared Schreiber. Leading 5-2 in the third, Chandler Rogers brought Gallagher-Iba to its feet, turning a takedown into a fall over the 10th-ranked Yohannes Mias. Kyle Crutchmer kept the shutout alive, using a third period escape and riding time to top Matt Reed 4-2. That, of course, at 174. Nolan Boyd scored 4 takedowns and a near fall for his 8th straight win, a 17-0 tech over DeWaylen Barnes. We go to 197. OSU's Preston Weigel used a third period escape to secure a 4-3 decision over Brad Johnson. Derek White bumped up from 197 to heavyweight, but dropped an 8-point shutout to the 19th ranked Sooner, Ross Larson, 37-3, the final from Stillwater.
You know, everyone we've wrestled up to this point has been, some of them have been solid teams, but the team that's coming in next week is quite different. And there isn't any question we'll have to have our best outing to win. You know, I know they got us ranked #1, but I'm not sure when they have 6 or 7 guys that are ranked above us how we're #1 in dual meets. So it's a little bit odd. You know, so we'll see where it ends up, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited that we got back to it. There's a lot of talent on that team, Penn State's team, and if we show anything less than our best performance, it'll be tough for us.
Like the Cowboys, Penn State passed their final test of the year, recording 5 straight pins on their way to a 45-6 victory over Maryland. Let's back up to tape just for a minute. I said 5 straight pins. How dominant is this team? Pretty ridiculous, I'd say. The victory clinched the Big Ten regular season title for the Lions, who will put their undefeated record on the line this Sunday in Stillwater.
It feels good. It feels good. You know, you want to win dual meets. It's a big deal. This was a big dual season for us. I think we had some big matches on the road, but our guys did a great job and, you know, went in and competed well. But yeah, it feels good. We're excited and you know, we love the way the Big Ten tournament is now and the national tournament. We've got a big dual meet next week, most likely with Oklahoma State. I almost said Ohio, Iowa, Oklahoma. So we're looking forward to that. It'll be fun. Finish the dual season off with the dual championship event. That's the design, and we're excited about it.
In other Big Ten action, Barry Davis and the 18th ranked Badgers capped off the regular season with a 1-point victory that came down to the wire. For the first time since 2014, the Mid-American Conference has a new regular season champion. The University of Northern Iowa won 7 of 10 against the defending conference champs on Sunday, shocking the 7th-ranked Tigers by the score of 25-10. The Panthers will now look to tack on a tournament title as they host the MAC Championships March 4th.
I think, we probably haven't been full strength all year. I mean, we lose Cooper Moore before the season starts, and you have a guy step up, and I mean, I just think we've just had guys with the mentality that no matter what we need, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna fight for each other. So I think it's just a testament to our guys, our staff, and I think I want to see the culture that we are building, that it is about more than just them, because it gets tough. I mean. Gets tough. I mean, there's a lot of grind in this sport, and there's not always a lot of joy. I mean, because there's a lot of pain. But man, like yesterday, to see those guys smiling and feel good, and even Bartell smiled. That's tough to do. Tough to get him to smile. So even he smiled. But I think it just solidifies for us. Man, we're doing the right things. And we got a good young group of guys who, this is their expectation when they came into the program, though. It wasn't like, and we've told them they don't have to wait. I mean, why would we wait to have an impact and to win? You don't have to, and then they did it yesterday. Now for us, we just want to build on that performance. Like I said, just being very disciplined, didn't beat ourselves, at any weight. And I feel good about that. I feel good about our guys, like I said, being able to have a game plan and stick to it, because when we get into these tournaments, there's going to have to be some where there's certain things that you need to do to give yourself the best opportunity, and it's not always going to be gunslinging. So I just think, you can take a lot of ways adversity. And our guys, and we've said it from day one, how much can we grow? How much can we grow as a team? How much ground can we cover? And that's going to be hopefully how I coach from the day till I'm done coaching. But I mean, our teams have covered a lot of ground. I tell you, in the next 3 weeks, we're going to cover more ground, and then we'll have 10 days after that to get ready for the national tournament. So we're certainly in a good spot and like where our guys are at, and they should feel good about where they're at.
All right, when we return, we'll talk national duels, and we'll hear from some of the top coaches in the country. That's after the break, brought to you by Yellow Blue LED.
Wow, 40 years. Time really flies. Don't seem like it's been that long. It seemed like only yesterday that I started out route delivering it to the stores. For over 40 years, we're really proud to keep the same quality ingredients and not change our recipe. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary by joining into our cookies recipe contest with a chance to win a Traeger Bronson 20 smoker. You can enter it on our Facebook page or cookiesbbq.com. Thanks for 40 years, and we'll see you in another 40 years.
Cookies is the one.
All right, while the NWCA National Dual Series has featured a number of memorable matchups over the years, it's been an uphill battle this year that's left many wondering what's the point of it all. To better understand the challenges facing the NWCA, we invited 3 of the participating coaches to offer their perspective. Here's Cornell's head coach Rob Cole, South Dakota State's Chris Bono, and Ohio State Buckeye headman Tom Ryan.
I mean, it's so hard. I mean, the NWCA is not set up to be a management team. This is not their wheel well. They do the best they can with a whole bunch of unorganized coaches, and I said it's a small organization owned by a couple people, and it's very unfortunate that they get the wrath, of everybody's discontent. It's not their fault. They just said they do the best they can, but it's hard to get a major deal. You don't even know what teams are going to be in it. You don't know where they're going to wrestle. But I'm not Pollyanna. I don't think the sky's falling. If you look at the Pac-10 network and the Big Ten network and the ACC, I mean, there's a lot of wrestling on TV. There's more wrestling now on TV than probably there ever has been. So I don't feel like we're not getting out there. It's just that this event, it just doesn't work. Now, the number 1 versus number 2, that works great. But it's hard to plan ahead if you only have one site, and you're not going to sign a contract at Oklahoma State if you don't know Oklahoma State's going to be wrestling there. And I don't think it works well at a neutral site. So if you have Penn State wrestling Oklahoma State and you're wrestling it in Chapel Hill, you're going to get 1,000 people. So I just don't think the format as it is sustainable. I understand, why some coaches, and certainly not all the coaches were unanimous. It wasn't unanimous at all. It was split. Probably 60-40 wanted to have it, 40% didn't. So it certainly it was a majority, but not that strong. And some of the teams that were not in favor were obviously very powerful teams, so they carried a little more weight. I don't want to have it 2 weeks before the national championships, and I think some of the coaches were fearful that it would take away from the individual tournament. I personally felt that we have a strong enough sport that we could have 2 major events. I hope we could have 2 major events, but it isn't going to happen anymore. I'm 100% certain of that, unless we completely redo it and decide we want to do it either after the season, after the individual championships, or go back to an earlier January event. But this dual meet thing, sitting back and trying to schedule when you don't know if you have a date or not, it isn't going to fly.
Well, I mean, I think we clearly have some great matchups, some postseason matchups. I wouldn't say that this by any means is the utopia situation or something that is going to help grow or increase consumer awareness. But it's better than, I would say this is a pretty low standard, what I'm going to say, but it's better than nothing. But it still doesn't do what we need it to do.
I'm a team guy. This is what everybody wanted at the time, so I supported it, and I'm lucky that we actually get a chance to compete in it. I think we do have to go back and revisit it. I think last night was kind of a nightmare in terms of getting it out, and it's not getting out. I know my press was ready to release things, and it's not getting out. I don't think that's very good for the sport. For whatever happened, I don't know the ins and the outs. So I'm a team player. I'm in for what's best for wrestling and what's best for everybody. And right now, we're not on page as coaches together. We're not on the same page as coaches together on what's best for the sport. And we need to come together as coaches and do what's best for the sport. And I'm sure our convention will be a very lively one this year with having to figure out what we're going to do in terms of the national duels.
We'll take you through the matchups of the national duels after this quick timeout. But first, let's join up with American University's head coach, Teague Moore, with the beginner's guide to folk style. You're watching Takedown thanks to Barbarian Apparel.
The next scoring position that we'll look at is probably the most important position in wrestling. This is called the fall. If we can put our opponent's shoulders on the mat for 2 seconds, the referee will slap the mat, indicating the victory or the end of the bout. We'll see the demonstration by Cole Mosley. Another scoring position in the sport of wrestling is called the near fall. We're taking our opponent to their back, but we have to get to a 45-degree angle for the referee to begin counting. If the referee counts for 2 seconds, the top wrestler gets 2 points. If he counts a 4 count, the top wrestler will get 4 points. Let's take a look at this in action. Cole is close to a near fall, but he has to get to a 45-degree angle. So he starts to take Michael towards his back. When he reaches the 45-degree angle, the referee will count 1001, 1002, that's worth 2 points. If he counts 1003, 1004, if he gets to a 4 count, that's worth 4 points.
The war raged for generations. No amount of bravery and conviction could end the infected, unyielding rage. And with every battle, the evil grew, changed, evolved. The warriors needed nothing short of a miracle to stop the infection, and a miracle they received. Your body is at war against skin infections and diseases each time you step onto the mat. Protect yourself against the invasion. Defense Soap. Defend what you have built.
When looking for a quality pizza, you need a place that makes everything from scratch, using fresh ingredients, 100% real mozzarella. And if you can grab a lotto ticket while you're there, well, lucky you. Casey's, famous for pizza. Right now, get a free 2-liter with the purchase of any large made-from-scratch pizza.
So now you know a little more about how the NWCA National Dual Series are made. Let's take a look at the action. It starts Friday at number 17 South Dakota State. They play host at the 8-7 Purdue Boilermakers. The Jacks finished the regular season ranked second in the Big 12, falling just once in conference play, while the Boilermakers finished ahead of 4 other teams in the Big 10. In a rematch from the 2016 National Dual Series, 11th-ranked Lehigh will look to avenge a loss to former EIWA rival Rutgers. Rutgers finished 6-3 in the Big 10, placing 5th, while the Mountain Hawks went 7-1 in the 16-team EIWA. And finally, on Friday, we'll see 7th-ranked NC State inside the newly renovated Reynolds Coliseum against the 16th-ranked Michigan. The Wolfpack dropped just 2 duels on the year, finishing second in the ACC, while the Wolverines started the year on a hot streak before falling to 8-6. On Saturday, Eastern Wrestling League champ and 24th-ranked Edinburgh will welcome 3rd-ranked Iowa to Macomb Fieldhouse. The Fighting Scots finished 6-0 in the conference, while the Hawkeyes were 8-1 in the Big 10, finishing second behind regular season champ Penn State. Sunday's action starts in Ithaca, New York. It's the 8th-ranked Cornell Big Red welcoming Tom Ryan and the Buckeyes, the 4th-ranked Buckeyes, to town. That one will be followed by another rematch from the 2016 series between Southern Conference regular season champ App State and 9-9 Indiana out of the Big 10. And finally, in the showcase duel of the series, it'll be undefeated Oklahoma State against the big bad Nittany Lions of PSU. We'll break that one down match by match much later in the week on Global Wrestling News. Special thanks to our friends at the University of Iowa, Oklahoma, Big 10 Network, and all the great coaches and athletes on today's program. And don't forget, catch all the breaking wrestling news, interviews, articles, dual previews, and a lot more at takedownwrestle.com. From our home in Des Moines, Iowa, I'm Scott Casper. We'll see you next week. Have a good one, everybody.